Hello, my name's Kirsten Scott. I'm Programme Leader for MA Fashion Design Women's Wear at Istituto Marangoni in London, and I'm a designer, maker, researcher around fashion, textiles and accessories. How can we do fashion differently? How can we do fashion that is not just about doing less bad, but proactively doing good? How can we design clothes that make people feel better in a deeper way than just that thrill of the initial purchase? Our garments are made from Ugandan barkcloth, a fabric from trees. Barkcloth is a sustainably harvested, non-woven, fibrous heritage textile that has been produced by the Baganda of southwestern Uganda since at least the 13th century from the bark of the wild fig tree. These mutaba trees are often grown as part of a local agroforestry system. They provide nutrients to the soil, shade to other crops, and demand relatively little water. Every part of the tree may be used in different ways, for medicine, for animal fodder, and for barkcloth making, in everyday life and in important events and rituals. This important indigenous craft of barkcloth making has been awarded Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity status by UNESCO, but is at risk as the skills and tacit knowledge it embodies are being lost with an ageing generation of rural barkcloth makers, while the youth migrate to urban centres. Our project aims to support the Bukomemsimbi Organic Tree Farmers Association, established by Ugandan artist and environmentalist Fred Mutebi and his brother, the agriculturalist and community mobiliser Stephen Kamya. We use a model that we call borrowed cloth that attempts to work with the cultural property of others in a sensitive, collaborative and non-exploitative way. Thinking through making continues to evolve our conceptualisation of fashion in ways that challenge the status quo. Shape making has been synergised with barkcloth specific challenges in relation to body form and movement requirements. This in turn has prompted reflections on contemporary definitions of beauty, the body and conformity that have fed back into our design process, as connections are made in the brain while the hand is engaged in sampling, dyeing, pattern cutting, toiling. What happens if there's extra volume here or there? What does it mean to our ideas of perfection? What beauty can be found in forms that must exaggerate humps, stress points and bumps to improve wear? Our neocrafting techniques, including natural dye finishes, embroidery, appliques, they strengthen as well as decorate garments to promote physical and emotional durability and to provide therapeutic and antibacterial benefits. Our finishes are lustrous and compostable, promote human health and well-being, and improve the strength and water resistance of fabrics. In slow stitching, there's a meditative rhythm that brings calm to the soul and opens the mind to new possibilities. Using a zero-waste approach, all scrap materials are reintegrated into the project using biotechnology to create biocomposites for trimmings, finishes, and creating new materials for accessories, or used to make a dye from the barkcloth itself. The propositional garments created demonstrate barkcloth's aesthetic and material potential and challenge the conventions of beauty, materiality, design and the body. Thinking through making, a holistic design methodology for contemporary luxury fashion has been formulated, which promotes the well-being of Ugandan barkcloth makers, their community and local environment, as well as those that make and wear the garments, which ultimately will compost to become soil nutrients. In doing so, this practice offers a critique of normative production and reconnects us to the natural world as we wrap ourselves once more in fabric from trees.
My name is Karen Spurgin. My work with Barkcloth project explores surfaces. When I began, I saw it as an interesting textile, and I began to experiment mostly with stitch, so I did a lot of embroidery.
Colour of barkcloth was quite difficult to use, and we needed to find something more versatile. I began to revisit old techniques in a hope that this might prove an interesting solution.
I've always had an interest in medieval tempera painting. Studying these methods for creating surfaces alongside my experience with natural dyes has led me to develop a finish for the barkcloth.
The black shiny surface works well with a barkcloth textile. It is a low-tech, sustainable solution that we can eventually hand back as part of the borrowed cloth ethos of our project.